You have worked out, gone to therapy, run your business, run 10 errands, answered 100 emails while he slept all day. And this guy is going to treat you like shit.
Exactly.
Hi, guys.
Girl, relax.
It stays.
Okay. We were just going to do a mic test, but this should be good.
That was
so
my
let's
test.
just go with it. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta
Oh my
Eat.
God. Welcome back. I think we should be good. This is the raw doggest intro ever. Did not do a mic check. It's fine. It looks good. The sound waves look good.
Are you guys enjoying yourself?
I guess we're
We hope
good.
You are. Azul, are you having fun?
Azul's ready for Dewey.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. We are
for your summer?
between trips as we record back from Chicago heading to Dewey.
Yeah, if you guys are listening this week, which you are, I'm getting surgery on Wednesday and we're back from Dewey. But in the meantime, we're excited to go to Dewey. Oh my God, Azul is like wagging up
Look
a
at
storm.
him. He just stayed with Jeremy Jacobowitz, our friend. It was the first collab.
So Jeremy and I picked him up and it was like so special.
yeah.
And I came into your apartment and he was like so excited to see me. It made me so happy. He just like leapt up. He was being so good. You know, I came to the apartment and he didn't leap up at first. And I was like, you're not going to guard this apartment at all, are you? Jeremy was so cute with him.
So we were in Chicago and Jeremy got him and he did his first Brooklyn stay.
Oh yeah, do you like Brooklyn now?
He looked really cute in
He was
Brooklyn.
getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
What the? I know.
Jeremy was fucking him up.
Azul was like, this is crazy.
I know. Jeremy was like, I'm so sorry. I'm on this 5:30 a.m. schedule. I was like, it's not for long, son.
Yeah.
Okay, we will talk about it a little bit more, but let's just thank some of our partners. Thanks to Article for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Article combines the curation of a boutique furniture store with the comfort and simplicity of shopping online. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Go to article.com/GGE. And thanks to Nutrafol for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. It's time to join the thousands of women standing up for their strands. You can grow thicker, healthier hair at Nutrafol.com/GGE to save $15 off your first month subscription, plus free shipping on every order.
Yes, and thanks to Pretty Litter for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Pretty Litter ships free to your door in a small lightweight bag. Go to prettylitter.com/GGE to save 20% on your first order. And thanks to Calm, the #1 mental wellness app for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Reduce stress and anxiety through guided meditations, improve focus with curated music tracks, and rest and recharge with Calm's imaginative sleep stories for children and adults. Calm is offering you an exclusive offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/GGE.
So we just got back from Chicago. You had shows, which is why I came. My brother lives there too, but
Yeah.
also the shows were great. It's really funny because I travel so rarely by myself.
Yeah.
So I was really like marinating in this experience, and like I feel like me, you, and Bella just make fun of each other all the time. That's the nature of our relationship. We just tease each other. All my friends are like that. Like, I don't have any relationships where people just like let me get away with stuff.
Yeah.
And this travel experience is so funny because I just did all the stuff that like you make fun of me for. I left for the airport like really early. I checked a bag even though I didn't have to.
Ugh.
I wore my ugly sweatshirt to the airport that you make fun of me for wearing because it is a little baggy. I shouldn't wear it. And
Raina, no, I don't. Well, okay, you go ahead and then I'm going to do my rebuttal for all these things.
Thank
I'll
you.
redline this whole diatribe.
I got way too much salmon, hummus, and shrimp at the Delta Lounge, just pounds of it. I just piled it up. I kept my window shade up in the plane both ways there and back. And every time I went to the bathroom, I brought my phone.
That is insane, all of that.
And I was thinking about like airplane behavior in general and everybody's quirks and like how like some people take their shoes off in an airplane. I think that's disgusting. Where you're the animal. Like you can't just keep your shoes on for 2 hours. But I guess I have like some like very funny quirks, and I'm never alone at the airport, so I don't get to exercise them.
Okay,
I've
never been a person that likes to get to the airport super early.
Well, I haven't either.
Yeah, so
I just go early to go to the Delta Lounge.
Yeah, so good for you. I will check a bag when I need to, but I really like to not deal with it. It's a whole nother layer. Then it could get lost. So if I just am doing a weekend 3-day trip, like I just love carrying on. You just breeze right through the airport, and then with TSA pre-check and clear, like from drop off to gate, or to Delta Lounge, whatever it is. It's like 5 minutes, truly.
So here's the reason why I don't like to bring a bag with me. I have short people anxiety about being able to get the bag into the bin above me. And sometimes you sit in a different part of the plane than me. So normally you would help me put it up there. But if you're not with me, I get a lot of anxiety about being able to reach the overhead bin.
So that's what tall friends are for. But my anxiety is not being first on the plane, and I will like rush to the gate. I want to be first or last. If you're not first, you're last. Like that's how I feel, because if I'm not carrying on, I'll be dead lost on the plane. You and I, we've been like they've been paging us, you know, but if I need to get my bag in the overhead bin, which, I mean, listen, I do mostly fly in first class. It's usually not an issue, but sometimes those fill up and I don't want to check it because the whole thing is that I'm not checking it. So I just don't want to do it. So I get a little anxiety surrounding that. I need to back up. This sweatshirt of yours. I do not care what you wear, but sometimes you will wear a long, baggy quarter zip. You'll wear a Nike quarter zip, looking like my ex on a game day, on a chilly fall game day, wearing a quarter zip over a jersey. And then you'll like meet a guy or something happens where you're still in it.
Every time.
You'll be
in
like,
the quarter zip.
Yes. And it gives you no shape. Then you are like, I regret wearing this. And I'm like, Raina, if you're going to be out scoping for guys, like this happens so many times, like and then every time, you wore the quarter zip and you kept it on as we're walking around Toronto, and then we went and did all these photos, and you were trying to look sexy in this baggy quarter zip, and then you were complaining, and I was like, you should have just dressed better. So I'm looking out for you. And then her food situation, so I hate wasting food. I just hate wasting food. Like I will bring leftovers. I'm gonna clean your plate, girl, like whatever it is. So when I see you put 4 pounds of hummus, look like you're about to feed a Super Bowl party on your plate, and we have 10 minutes, I am like, Raina, stop. Like I put this in my Instagram story. I was like, I would never buffet shame somebody, but you go so hard, and like your eyes just are so much bigger than your stomach when you're in that buffet line, and then you see all the seafood, and like no one loves airport lounge seafood more than Raina. So this isn't about shaming your lifestyle choices. It's like, I'm trying to protect you from yourself. And then the window shade thing, girl, I can't. The person in front of me had their window shade up, and I posted on Instagram. People were like, is that Raina? I'm like, I wish it was Raina, because I would reach right up and pop it down.
Yesterday, you would have been proud of me because it was, I will say it's not fair on early morning flights. I had a 10 a.m. flight, so I did try to be respectful of the girl next to me who had her hood up and sunglasses on, trying to sleep. So I did keep mine shade down, but the person right across from us lifted theirs up, at which point I knew they had ruined the flight for everybody, and I could lean into it.
It's so obnoxious.
And then I took my phone to the bathroom every single time. I took some thirst traps in the bathroom on the plane.
Ew.
I was wearing a wrestling singlet. I looked good.
In the plane bathroom, you're just like huffing a porta potty in the air. You're like, let me stay in here and take some photos.
This time I have to lean into all my weird behaviors and no one can talk about
Oh my God. Do you ever get up to go to the bathroom and someone's in there? You just have to stand in the aisle.
Yeah, all the time.
That's why I wish I had my phone, because you're just standing there looking around.
Also, I was thinking about you because I feel like you would never do this. Well, you're also a foot taller than I am, so I don't think that you even experienced this as much. But the guy next to me fell asleep, and he had his headphones in also. So there was like, I couldn't even climb over him because first of all, there's no way I could make it over a man, but then he had the headphones in,
plugged
into the thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that you would probably wake a person up. You'd like tap them. And I will sit there and give myself a UTI before I wake a person up on a plane, and it's not good.
I mean, if there's a chance I could hold it till A, we land, or B, we wake up, I will. I really don't want to wake somebody up. I will very awkwardly straddle someone if it's physically possible. Like, I don't care. Like, I would prefer to be awkwardly straddled than woken up. But when the headphones, you're right. So the cord. But also if he's sleeping, you know, I do crazy stuff.
I know.
I would unplug the headphones. What's he listening to? He's sleeping.
I mean, sleeping.
So he's sleeping. So he forgot to I'm unplugging.
You're unplugging.
Just resting it on his body.
What is the cord?
Just put it in his pocket. I just ball it up. I just ball it up and put it in his pocket.
I will sit there literally on a plane holding my breath, like to the point that I have to like throw up before I wake a person up.
I mean, I told you this recently that I everybody has a different A, bladder size, but B, how much they can hold it. I think after you have children, it changes a little bit in terms of how long you can hold your bladder. But I hadn't had a situation in a long time where I was like, I have to pee and I can't. And that's a panicky, anxiety inducing feeling. And when I took that plane flight down to rescue those dogs, it was on January 8th, the day that Dewey had passed. And like, we went to get dogs from Azul's rescue and bring them up. It was this thing I did with Animal Lighthouse. I talked about it back then in January. I did have my morning coffee. So, I did go right before, but like right before meant there was still 30 more minutes before we got the plane out, so about 30 minutes into the flight, I had to pee and we had 3 more hours and there was just no way. Like I just was in full panic mode. I was trying to read and then my mouth is also dry, but I'm not drinking water. Then the pilot wanted to do an interview with me. Like it was really cute. He put his it was the whole time I was like, oh my God. And I just felt like it was this mental training. And ever since then, I feel like I'm a better person for it.
You went to
I can hold it a little more than I used to be able to.
Really? Okay. Like when you hold your breath underwater, you should go to boot camp for it.
When I do handstand contests in the pool.
Peeing I can hold. It's painful, but I can do it to the point that I feel like I'm going to be sick. If I have to poop, it's an emergency. There is no holding it in. I will wake you up. I will do literally, and I'll kill your mother.
Yeah.
If I have to poop, I have to poop immediately.
Yeah, I guess it depends. There's definitely times I've felt like a pressure that I'm like, I can hold on to this for a minute. But if it's like a diarrhea situation, you got to go.
Like last week. How many intros am I going to bring up explosive diarrhea?
She can't stop. So we had such a good time in Chicago. It's truly so much fun. I did these 3 shows at this place called the Den Theater. They were all so incredible. Chicago is one of my top 3 favorite comedy audiences. They're just so incredible. And you came to the last show. Yeah, and then amazing. Kate, my best friend from LA, came in, and then Kate Kennedy came, and your brother was there, our Chicago royalty. Sure.
The joke you made about him made me laugh so
I was
hard.
watching back the tape, and I could hear your laugh. Like I made a joke about your brother, and your laugh is like permeating throughout the room. Like I could hear you laughing the whole night, which everyone's laughing. They were amazing. And, I was funny. And the laughs were so loud. It was this amazing venue for acoustics, but I could hear yours. And it's so validating because you've heard these jokes. I guess funny. Not all. Like, I guess I mix it up a lot. I do a lot of new material, but it just really is like so validating. Like, I'm like, as long as Rain is laughing.
Well, I also hear you, like I was telling you this, that every time I see you do stand up, it's like a little different. It's a little bit better. The jokes get like even tighter. You add things in, you take things out. That's how it should be when you work on a craft all the time, every single day. Like, that's why, like, when people are like, are they breaking up because you're doing comedy? It's like, no, Ashley does comedy every night. I don't. So like, you work on it so hard. So the jokes just get better every single time. Well, and I'm always like, how can this get better? And it's so funny. And then it just does. And this was like the best I've seen it. And I didn't know that it was like, my brother even was like, you have like a very distinctive laugh. I was like, I don't know. It was
You're
funny.
The best laugh.
Thanks.
I also think people, like your best friends and people you love, you just think they're funny. You know what I mean? Like you want to laugh anyway, but it was just very funny. And I was watching it back when I came out to the show. You came out, you were there. And I was like, Rainey Greenberg's here, everybody. People knew you were there. You'd been signing autographs.
You had to stand under a spotlight while they good fellas brought in a table to the center of the room.
Yeah, they did a great job, but keeping your presence low key was not the thing they did the best.
They're incredible, so no shade to them. Like, I'm obsessed with that theater and the staff was so great. But like, they're like, yeah, now you can go to Will Call. Now you can stand here. Now just stand right under the spotlight.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you mind? And I was like, kinda, but it's okay. I met a lot of you and it was really fun. I took a lot of photos. Took photos of my brother. It's fun.
Someone brought their Vibes Only velvet pouch for you to sign, which is, I cannot get over it. Like, first of all, this video of you signing an autograph was like so cute to me because I just don't even know. There's been a few times where you and I've signed autographs, whatever. It's like kind of an old school thing. That weird thing at the airport in Montreal. Yeah. But like to see you get like bombarded by these fans, but then you're signing the bag, it just like warmed my heart. And you were like, you look like such a professional celebrity. You were like giggling. You're like, oh my God. Like you were like signing. And what a cool thing for her to bring to sign.
I know. I loved it.
Like that is the coolest thing I've seen. Like if we do Vibes Only traveling events, bring your velvet pouches.
I was really flattered and I never thought I would sign a vibrator pouch, but here we are. And just, to plug our company, it's a preview experience. We send you a beautiful velvet pouch with your vibrators. You can travel with it.
And easily signed with a Sharpie,
yes.
apparently.
Girl brought a Sharpie. How did she even know that she was going to meet one of us? I guess we did say that I was coming to one of the shows.
Yeah. She probably could have guessed it was going to be the last one we did, or I did. So it was really great. We just had such a fun time. We did do the architecture tour on the boat in Chicago.
Can't recommend it enough. I've done it twice now. I love it.
So great. We had some Luminati's.
Oh my God. I've never been a huge fan of deep dish. That was my favorite.
Really?
I had Luminati. I used to go to Chicago all the time. I worked for Groupon, if you guys don't know that, for 3 years, and they're based there. So I used to go there all the time. And I had Luminati's, but I don't know. That was the best it's ever been.
I mean, I do think that Luminati's and Giordano's are actually so good. It's not like a Pat's and Gino's Philly situation.
Absolutely.
Like Pat's and Gino's cheesesteaks, they're like these Philly cheesesteaks, but like the locals don't like them, and they're like they're not good. They're just not like, you know, I hope they're not listening, but that's not the case with Luminati's and Giordano's. I don't know if I'm saying it right. They're so good. I just prefer Luminati's. I have that picture that was on my Hinge forever on my dating apps of me eating it at Lollapalooza, and guys would always be like, "Is that Luminati's?" I like that. It sounds like Illuminati, so I like it.
You say it as one word.
Yeah,
Illuminati's.
like Illuminati's. So they had that in the green room for us after the show, which was just iconic. Then we did that in Detroit too. Like, I'm not doing this every time, but this is like my new thing. Like, if we've done shows, and to have a pizza waiting for you after, it's amazing.
Maybe one of my things one day will be actually admitting that I'm eating it, because every single time I'm like, I don't need any. I just had a big dinner. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna drink on stage. I don't need anything. And then every time, remember in Detroit, you were like, you said you weren't gonna eat this. I literally had to put it on our card, but I paid for it because you literally said you weren't gonna eat it. You're not like a stingy friend. You'll pay for shit. But that was both these times I was like, I don't need it. I'm not gonna eat it.
Again, I just need you to be honest with yourself.
What else am I not?
I'm just trying to take care of you. I always know. Like, I know you better than you. Which is a true friendship. You need to watch out for me more, Raina, because I do some shit and you don't call me on it. When I ate that pepper, when I dry shave my legs, like
I told you not to dry shave your legs, and when you ate that pepper, I was like, she's really going for it. I can't believe it.
I told Raina,
you said to not let you look like shit when you film this podcast, and I think we've been holding each other accountable.
I don't look great, but I am more helicopter parent to you, and you just let me fly.
That's your vibe.
Like, when I was dry shaving my legs that day, which was the worst mistake I ever made, they were painful for 3 days later. You were like, that's crazy. Like, you weren't even like, Ashley, stop it. I would have been like, right, I would have grabbed the razor from your hand. And then the other day I put a whole jalapeno in my mouth. I don't know why. And you were just like, that's crazy. Like, you don't stop these things. So another thing we just wanted to talk about, in Chicago, we stayed at the Pendry Hotel in Chicago, which you guys have heard us talk about the Pendry numerous times. Different properties. This is a place we've stayed in a bunch of different cities. We called ourselves the Pendry family. We had sex in these rooms. Like, we talked about that.
We had sex in multiple Pendrys.
In multiple Pendrys in multiple cities. Yeah. And we were in the Pendry in Chicago, and we had fans, Girls Gotta Eat fans, come up and be like, I'm staying here because of you. I think I had 4 different people come up during the stay. Mm-hmm. One girl lived there. She was taking herself on a staycation. We had couples come up. There was like a honeymoon, you know. So we just kind of wanted to address something that happened with them. Essentially, we parted with them in like a way where it wasn't like free stays all the time. We got some media rates here and there. We were aligned with their brand. They supported us and we supported them. And it was just a really mutually beneficial relationship. Again, you guys have heard us talk about this on multiple episodes. And they basically, without giving like all of the details, have kind of decided not to align with us based on our content, social media and otherwise, that is sex related. Mm-hmm.
So this came from, we have really enjoyed the property staff and the PR company that works with them. But this really came from high up above at the top of the company, that they don't love the sex content, the comedy type content that we talk about. And they do not want to align themselves with our brand, which no one's ever said that to us before, you know? Ashley and I, if you've listened to even one episode of the show ever, we're sex positive, we're female empowerment. We go out of our way to be just open about everything. It's pretty shocking. No one's ever said this to us before.
Yeah. And if you remember, the Pendry has romance kits, pleasure kits in the rooms. Couldn't be more like, have sex, do your thing. Here's lube, here's condoms, sex positivity, all the things. So this was just like really discouraging. I mean, we were super loyal to this brand and we have sent so many of you guys there. Like we've been like marketing the shit out of them for 8 months. Like, you know what I mean? Like without really having to, because we kind of perceive this as a long-term relationship. So Rain and I have negative experiences from time to time with people, with companies. We don't get on here on our microphone and drag them, but we do feel a responsibility when we have pushed something so hard to you guys, when we literally see the fruits of our labor, people coming up and telling us they're staying at a place because we recommend it. So we just want to tell you we don't recommend it anymore. And we are offended, quite honestly, and a little hurt. I mean, it's something like we're so proud of what we put out there and that a brand that we loved would be like, we don't like this, we don't welcome this. And we just wanted to let you guys know because we know you're still going there, you know, because of us, and we're not going there anymore. And you can go stay at different places with better places with your money and that aren't going to sex shame to podcasters that you listen to.
Yeah. Who have only done a nice job for them, by the way. I mean, tons of content, Instagram stories, feed posts, talked about the podcast, you know, we've done right by them. We've never had somebody have an experience with us and then unalign themselves with us because of our content. So we're not saying like, drag them and bring the blowtorches.
Yeah, no.
Like, don't go to their Instagram and be like, we fucking hate you guys.
Yeah.
We're just saying we don't stay there anymore. They're never going to get a dime of our money again. They don't like our content. We don't like them.
Yeah. If you were staying there because of us, we don't recommend it.
Yeah.
So that's just, you know, all you need to know.
Yeah, that's it. All right.
Okay, let's just talk about some partners who do support us and that we do love. First up, I'm going to tell you guys about Pretty Litter. So we are getting ready to depart for Delaware. I'm going to stop by my parents on the way, grab some stuff for the beach and see all these cats. Pay my respects. Just kidding. I probably won't see them. You never see cats. They're just wherever.
I forget that your parents even had cats.
They're always out. They're doing, it's like,
I never know what they're
doing back there. But my parents have 4 cats in the house and they use Pretty Litter, as do so many cat owners in our lives, because it truly is the world's smartest cat litter, the best cat litter for multiple reasons. So the best thing is that the crystals change color to help detect early signs of potential illness like urinary tract infections, metabolic acidosis, bladder crystals, and more. So it gives you better peace of mind. If your cat pees, it changes color. You guys can see what that means and really help to keep your cat healthy, extend their life, all the things. The crystals are ultra absorbent. They instantly trap odor, lightweight, dust-free, works for up to a month without clumping. So you're not going to waste litter, and you can say goodbye to smelly, clumpy litter and hello to dust-free crystals. I love this. It doesn't fly out of the box and get all dusty underneath your feet. It ships free to your door in a small lightweight bag, and there are convenient monthly deliveries, so you'll never run out. And you won't have a massive container of litter taking up your space. So this has just been such a game changer. I mean, I think that a lot of people sometimes are even debating whether they want a cat because of the litter.
Absolutely. It's the number one thing people say. Like, I don't want it because I don't want to smell the litter.
Yeah, I don't want cat feces and cat pee in my home, you know, like, so it's like, this traps the odor. It doesn't smell. It's dust free. It lasts up to a month, like we said. And it just is the healthiest thing you can do for your cat when it comes to cat litter. It's going to give you guys peace of mind with that too. So once you try Pretty Litter, it'll be the only litter you ever use. Go to prettylitter.com/GGE to save 20% on your first order. That's prettylitter.com/GGE to save 20% on your first order. prettylitter.com/GGE.
Yes. And this next partner article, I always love talking about because I am obsessed with interior design. If you guys have seen my Instagram stories and you've just looked at my apartment in general, you know that I am so obsessed with every piece of furniture and curating it perfectly. So what I love about article is they combine the curation of a boutique furniture store with the comfort and simplicity of shopping online. And this little talk today is about their bedroom sets, because we talked about outdoor, we talked about living room, but their bedroom stuff is really, really fantastic. I love their talking points. Bedrooms have seen things that cannot be unseen. Mm-hmm. So you're doing all kinds of stuff in your bedroom, guys. You're hungover in there. There's dirty laundry in there. You're having sex in there. I mean, that's one of their talking points. It made me laugh, so I'm putting it in there. I spend so much time in there. It's the first place I wake up in the morning, obviously. So it's your first like entree into your day. So why not make the space really beautiful and wonderful? Just in general, I really like Article. I like their website. They have a team of designers that focus on beautifully crafted pieces, quality materials, durable construction, all kinds of different aesthetics. They have mid-century, Scandinavian, industrial, industrial bohemian. It's all fast and affordable. Shipping is available across the US and Canada. It's free on orders over $9.99. And all in-stock items are delivered in 2 weeks or less. So if you're looking to like revamp your bedroom, I am obsessed with especially the beds that they have right now. All kinds of different materials. So they have fabric, wood, they have leather, they have this green velvet bed that looks
bed is
absolutely
so bomb.
incredible. I was like, Ash, I'm about to like revamp my entire bedroom.
Yeah.
It's just really stylish. And then the other thing I really like about their website is they show you how other people have curated everything, all the furniture together to make it look really great. So if you don't know how to decorate and you're not sure, they will literally help you. Just go on their website, look at it. Their styles are great. The quality is great. The delivery is great. And we're going to give you guys a discount. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/GGE and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That is article.com/GGE for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
My mom just asked me, she was like, where's that thing from the patio furniture? Like, well, my mom doesn't talk like that. I don't know why she said that, but I had given them this like thing that doesn't have cushions on it, but it's so comfortable randomly, that little couch thing.
From outside your apartment?
From Article. Like, remember they sent it? They were like, and I guess sent it to my parents. My parents are obsessed with it. It's so crazy. It's like, you'd look at it and you'd be like, that's not going to be comfortable. It's cute. It's not comfortable. And somehow it randomly is. No cushions on it. I don't think they sell that thing anymore, but even I have the chairs that aren't cushioned either on my patio and they're comfortable. So they just do it right. It's so crafted so well. But
that was my first thought when I looked at your furniture, was that it's not going to be comfortable. And then you sit on it. It's really,
so
really
nice.
And people ask us all the time, like, what's that thing you guys have? What's the code? girlsgettepodcast.com. Everything's there, guys. All the partnerships, we have great merch. We've been talking about it a long time. Get yourself a sweatshirt or a mug, and all the episodes are there too, so you guys can check it out.
And then, of course, Vibes Only. If you're new here, that is our sex toy company and paired app. So just a couple updates. I mean, the Reina is probably sold out again at this point. That is one of our toys, our most popular toy, double-sided, has a clit sucker on it, vibrator on the other end, and probably sold out again. So hit the wait list again if you're wanting it. We'll get more of those in, and we have some new products that we are testing and going to have in time for the holidays. So we are so excited. Something that's a little bit cheaper price point and maybe something to put in your butt. So, and then we have the vanilla frosting blow gel coming soon. So all of this, you can find this at vibesonly.com. And then the app this week, we have another of the BDSM stories, hottest story that we do. And it's going to be multiple episodes. We have 2 in there now. This guy's voice is so sexy. It's just so hot. So
it's very, very sexy.
Yeah.
You guys. So get in there. And then the video on the app this week is me. It's intro to Dirty Talk. So the videos are just like a fun thing you guys can swipe through with lots of comedians and experts. My video is in there this week about how to talk dirty better. So check that out. And Ashley and I have a great episode about that. We have lots of episodes about talking dirty. So you can also go back and listen to that. And that's it. Vibesonly.com for everything. Instagram. And you can find it on Apple as well in the store.
In the app store, that Android, we're working on it.
Literally, I mean, it's not us. It's them, it's not us.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it's just like, what is going on? It's the same company own the Pendry and Android. They're just like,
they don't want to align themselves with our brand.
They're like, it's too dirty. That's the problem. Like, things keep getting kicked back. And
that's why.
If you want to know, like, we keep having to revamp and we don't want to water this down, you know, for you Android users, but we're doing our best. Like the Vibe, the app right now that's in the App Store, we have tried to get that approved through Android before it launched.
Oh yeah.
We were working on this. Yeah.
I mean, I'm learning so much about the industry in general. Like, so when you look at the app, it goes to the website and there's a picture of you and I holding a vibrator on the website, and you know, they just have different standards for it. So we're working on it, you guys, we promise. But you know, I said this before, I said this in January. I said, this is my last week with huge boobs. And that didn't really come to fruition. I've had huge boobs since then. So this is actually my last few couple days with huge boobs, hopefully.
Oh my God. It better be. or we are going to mobilize you guys to take someone down.
I know. People keep being like, what's his name? I'm like, I will never say his name.
Unless he does this again.
If he does this, if he ruins my boobs, I'll kill him.
Yeah. Leave it to the snack heads.
But yeah, Wednesday is the surgery. I'm amped. Ashley and I, it's our tradition that she's not in town for my surgery. But she brought it up and she was like, I feel really bad.
Well, last time I flew back the day you got the surgery. So I came over the next day. This time I won't be.
But this, I will say, in Ashley's defense, she should have canceled her trip. But no, this had been planned for months.
Yeah, this is
I scheduled this a week ago. So.
Yeah, I've had this a family thing that I'll be in Delaware. And this is the second time you've done this. You're an old pro. You got this.
Like when you have like a baby shower for your second baby, people are like, I'm not buying a gift for
then
her.
you rebrand it, you call it a sprinkle. They're like, I'm still not coming.
Do you think, I feel like people aren't going to send me as many gifts this time.
I wouldn't expect it. I give you a gift. I went to this amazing store in Chicago called Wolf Bait. It's in Logan Square. The shirt right now I'm wearing says abort the court. It is an aggressive shirt. And that's where I got your little boob candle.
Oh, I made a little face for you because I was trying to remember if this is this thing that gets served to me all the time, but I think it's called Wolf and something else. But
no, that's Wolf and Badger. I think that's
that's exactly
jewelry.
Oh, you know what I was talking about.
I get that ad too. This is called Wolf Bait. It's like a very edgy, liberal. They were just playing Renaissance, like in order. And this shirt was hanging outside. It's like this aggressive writing. It says abort the court. And I was like, need it. And I went in and they just had this candle that it looked like our wallpaper. It had little boobs all over it. So I was like, Raina needs that.
It smelled so good. I loved it so much. That was helpful because my room at the Pendry smelled like cigarettes.
Listen, the elevators took 16 hours.
I mean, if you ever want to get out of a hotel, don't stay at the Pendry.
Raina.
You'll never get down. I don't care if you stay on the 5th floor, which I had to budget an extra 10 minutes just to get downstairs every day. Stay at a hotel with elevators that work.
Oh my God.
Family. You said the funniest thing to me. You were like, I know what I want to complain about today.
Oh, I know what I want to complain about today. Yes. Okay. I marked this on TikTok. I don't like... Listen, I'm not going to shame any women. I'm just going to shame some men. And that's what we're doing for the rest of the episode too. But that are like so gorgeous and are doing this like pity me, can't get a date. Yes, you can. Like this guy. Raina, let me show you this video.
Because it's wedding season. And I know people need plus ones. And I look good in the tux. And I love going to weddings. And I chat with the dads. I have fun with the moms. I play with the kids. I'm a good date.
Like this guy.
All right, let me just float a hypothesis. If some man is looking like that guy is
perfect
the most
looking.
Beautiful man
He's
I've ever seen.
one of the most beautiful men.
If that guy can't get a date, he is the devil.
He can get a date. Like, I think it's this brand that I see sometimes on TikTok of the most beautiful men you've ever seen in your life that are like, I just want a girl to like bring me to a wedding. I'm a great date. I play with the kids. I talk to the parents. It's like, shut up. Like, and so I think then they just get all these comments of like, oh, I'll bring you to a wedding. All this stuff or like whatever it is. Like, this woe is me. I'm the hottest man on the planet. I don't like it.
Do you think it's just it's obviously just to get attention.
To get validation, attention.
It's just a bunch of women like gas them up.
Listen, don't come for me. I'm just annoyed. It's a thing that annoys me on the internet. I don't like, come on.
Honestly, I think that this should be a new segment on our show where we just complain about stuff.
Yes.
I mean, we complain a lot, but I think that like stuff that just niche, let's create some niche drama.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that guy, his vibe feels very just like, poor me, just a cool guy that can't get a date. It's like you could walk in anywhere and the panties would just throw themselves at you.
I would suck that guy's dick in front of my dad.
I know.
So hot.
He's so hot. And now
I would pick my face up off that guy's dick and be like, Dad, I'm trying to do something here.
Yeah. And his whole energy, like, it's just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like, you know what you look like.
I don't spend as much time on TikTok as you do. You just like, you get served this more. If I was served that more than once, it would make me feel crazy.
Now it's just,
Did your whole feed?
I'm trying to get back. Now I'm just over Bama Rush. Like, I think I liked the dances and everything more than I cared about. And now I don't care. And now I'm still getting like I'm like, it's over. It's over for me. I'm out. I'm ready for the documentary now. Like, I'm out on my TikTok feed. Like, I don't need any more Rush. I'm done rushing. So anyway, that's my complaint for the week.
That's really funny.
Hot guys that are trying to...
I want that guy's information.
Like what? Okay, what's worse?
He's a 10, but...
No, a 10. He's a 10, but he acts like a 5. Wait, what's worse?
Or he's a 5 and acts like a 10.
Yes, what is worse? What, a 10 that's like fake humility, acting like a 5, or a 5 that thinks he's a 10? I mean...
I actually don't know which to pick. At least at the 10, I'm looking at something I enjoy.
And then the 5 that's acting like a 10 is just funny. It's delusional. People are listening like, you're a 5. People are listening like, Ashley, that's you though. I would never claim to be a 10.
No.
Well, let's go through our other partners and then we will get into our topic today. I'm telling you guys about Calm, which is an app. So if you want to think about your intentions for the year, was it to meditate more regularly or get better sleep or work better from home, crush your goals, find peace of mind day to day, improve your focus, all these things. So if you've been thinking about those things and those were some of your goals, think about how they're going and how you're achieving them. Calm can really, really help. So this is the number one mental wellness app. We have partnered with them to give you the tools to improve the way you feel. If you go to calm.com/GGE, you'll get a special offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription, and new content is added every week. So we really love this. I mean, you can reduce your stress and anxiety. There's guided meditations, improve your focus with curated music tracks. And of course, you can rest and recharge with Calm's imaginative sleep stories for children and adults. So I love this for kids too. Like, this is such a cool thing, Calm Kids.
Yeah, we've never talked about it before. I actually didn't know that it existed. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah. So I love that. So you can go in and you can browse by your goal. Honestly, fall asleep, reduce stress and anxiety, work life, calm kids, personal growth, coping with the weight of the world. That's going to be a good one. Let's get in there and see what that's about. So these are just going to be some meditations. There's a wisdom track with Jay Shetty, caring for your grief. So really anything that could be going on in your mind, in your body that you want to change, you want to calm yourself. This is just where to get into it. I mean, there's an anxiety release, a bedtime body scan, restful sleep, and of course the soundscapes right on my Calm right now is the Calm Island, which is what I was listening to go to sleep last night and most nights. So anything you guys could want. Over 100 million people around the world use Calm to take care of their minds. It is ready to help you stress less, sleep more, and live a happier, healthier life for kids and adults. So we have a deal for you for listeners of the show. Calm is offering an exclusive offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/GGE. Go to calm.com/GGE for 40% off unlimited access to Calm's entire library. That is calm.com/GGE.
Yes, and 30 million women are impacted by weekend or thinning hair. If you are among them, know you're not alone, and there's a solution you can trust to deliver results, and that is Nutrafol. So as I've gotten older, my whole life, honestly, I've used a hair straightener every day for so many years, I mean, for decades, and I have really just thinned out my hair, and I've always thought, like, I would love to feel a little more confident and have fully hair. So this is a great solution that you guys can check out, see if it's right for you. Nutrafol is clinically shown to improve hair growth and thickness with less shedding through all stages of life. Nutrafol helps healthy hair growth from within, so they target 5 root causes of thinning. All kinds of things could be affecting this, like stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, and metabolism. And then you also may notice improvements in your overall well-being, including a more restful sleep, less stress, better skin, nails, and libido. Who doesn't want that? Hair growth does take time, of course. You'll begin to experience thicker, stronger, faster growing hair in 3 to 6 months. And in clinical studies, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after 6 months, which is great. You guys can visit Nutrafol.com. You'll take a hair wellness quiz for personalized product recommendations that are for your unique needs. And then when you subscribe, you'll receive automatic monthly deliveries. So you'll never miss a dose. I absolutely love that. I will never remember to reorder anything. So they set that up, make that super simple for you. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com/GGE to save $15 off your first month subscription. This is the best offer anywhere, and it is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time, plus free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com/GGE, and that is spelled Nutrafol.com/GGE.
Okay. We were talking about Nutrafol this weekend, I feel like, with the girls. Or we were talking about like hair, all that stuff.
Yeah, I told somebody to take it.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about Kate Kennedy.
Yeah.
Kate.
You know what else we were talking about that I thought was so funny? We had such a funny conversation about names at dinner.
Uh-huh.
And like, I could talk about names. I like boys and girls names forever. Like, I'm passionate. And we were talking about what your parents almost named you. And I love this conversation because mine is so wild.
It is so interesting to think how much your life is affected by just your name and like what you would be. Like, my name was supposed to be Emma. And I really like that name. But like, it's just not giving Raina.
It's not you.
It's like Raina is so different. Like, it's so unique. I love when people say I love your name and I say it means queen. Like, it's always so fun for me to say that back to somebody. I feel like I have this crown on my arm. Like, it's a vibe.
Yeah,
Raina's
like I just feel like Emma's not sucking dick and talking about it. to millions of people.
If your name
She's
is Emma,
sucking dick, but-
listen, you can DM me if your name is Emma and tell me you suck dick. I'm sure you do. But
I'm sure it's just like, it doesn't give.
it's not giving Raina.
It's not like wild. Like I also love the name Emma. I love it. But we were joking because my mom wanted to name me Chelsea, which I like. I'm a fan of the name.
Yeah.
My dad, Karen or Carrie Ann. Karen or the longer Karen. Karen or turn it into two names.
Your dad's like, no matter what, though, we're calling her Karen.
Girls Gotta Eat with Emma and Karen.
When you said that,
Kennedy was dying. She was like, Carrie Ann. Girls Gotta Eat with Emma Greenberg and Carrie Ann Hesseltine.
Carrie Ann Hesseltine. I mean, that would have been cute because you went to school in the South, but you're not giving Carrie
I don't
Ann.
like double. I'm not a double name. Like it's not me. I mean, Carrie. I could be a Carrie.
If your name was Karen, do you think you would have changed it to Carrie?
I don't know if that's a thing. I mean, I would have seen like. Also, I think my mom wanted my middle name to be Joy. That's her middle name. So. Karen Joy, like Ashley Joy just sounds, it flows. And then we were saying another name you would want. And I love my name so much, even though it's basic. I fucking love it. I think Ashley's the best name in the world. But the only other name I like Aubrey.
I could see you as an Aubrey.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think I can see myself. I'm big on A names. Azul. My name's Azul. I'm just kidding, but Aubrey and I like Audrey. Audrey just gives a little like classier, but I like Aubrey. I just love it. I've always loved it.
I don't think you see a lot of Aubreys, which I like.
Yeah,
it's not a different. Nobody goes like, how can you pronounce that? It's a normal name, but I like it. My name would have been Casey. So girls could eat with Aubrey and Casey.
Yes, that fits. It fits.
I do. I feel like I can feel it.
Yes, it's cute.
It's cute. Maybe we'll change our names someday.
Aubrey and Casey, they're so cute.
Hear me out. Ladies gotta eat with Aubrey and Casey.
Ladies gotta eat a little less as they age and their metabolism slows. Ladies gotta moderate.
I ordered 2 entrees to this house pretty much every day for lunch. So
yeah, you go hard.
Yeah, but I work out every morning now. You know,
you're
we're doing good. Everything in balance.
But I love that name. It's one of my favorite things. And I told you guys a story that I'm not going to tell right now. It's long and it's drawn out, but maybe one day I'll tell it about this high school thing that you hadn't heard. And everyone was like on the edge of their seat. My prom dress.
We'll get no, I'm not. I'm just I was so shocked by this story. Maybe we'll tell it next week because we got to get into the topic eventually. But it's really funny to me to hear these like very sort of like long, meaningful stories that Ashley tells that I haven't heard. Because I'm like, I thought I knew every single story forever.
But there's so many. Like this is like what I want to write a book someday. Like there's just so many insane stories. Like I was an insane kid. I was like a wild teen. Like in terms of like, I mean, this is a whole thing about like I was whatever. We'll tell it one day. But everyone was like, "What? What do you mean you did that?"
It was so shocking.
So I'll tell it one day. I got like, you know, sometimes also you forget and then your memory's unlocked and you're like, wait a minute, I was a psycho.
I wasn't, so I appreciate it.
You did bad stuff.
Oh yeah, I did bad stuff, but psycho. Well, I don't think I was like very run of the mill, just like basic bad bitch.
But you said you don't remember details as much as I do. Like I have this like ridiculous memory. Like you and Kate were saying like Kate was like, I don't remember stuff in this way, like to the detail.
Yes. Even if somebody, you know, there's moments you like unlock a memory. I don't really remember stuff as well. Or like things seem like a really big deal and I could have told you at the time a 3-hour story about it. But now I'm like, I don't know, this thing that happened, whatever, who cares?
But there are probably crazy details that you're just like,
yeah, I don't remember. I have a terrible memory.
Your mom could probably tell you.
It's her worst quality. She remembers everything. She loves to bring up stuff that happened. She's like, oh yeah, but when you were 8. I'm like, haven't we evolved past this? It's been almost 30 years, Mom. Aren't we done with this?
When I was like a kid growing up and like into my preteen, teen years, like the way that I would recall stuff, people like would feel uncomfortable. Like my family was like, she remembers everything. Like it's just, they were like, she's like a vault. It's crazy.
You do.
She remembers what she wore when she was like 6 to this thing. Like everybody was like on edge to do anything because they're like, Ashley won't forget. Like,
that's why you're also, I mean, I always like joke that you're like good at catching liars, but like that's another reason why like I am bad at catching liars is somebody could just be like, that didn't happen like that. Right? And I'd be like, yeah, probably. You're probably right. Like you remember everything and I don't. So somebody could just be like, that didn't happen like that. And I'd be like,
I feel like you shouldn't be sharing this. Like your future man is listening right now. He's like, noted.
Can't wait to lie to her about stuff.
That is a perfect segue into the topic today.
Yes, the topic today, we hope it's really empowering for you guys, and we'll just sort of make you evaluate who you're dating and how people treat you. And this sort of came up for me, at least personally, because we had this really special milestone at Vibes, and I was like so proud of it. The company's doing really well. I'm just really proud of it. So I started to like think back to like two people in particular that treated me like kind of shitty this year, and like who really just like romantically kind of hurt me and like made me feel really bad. And I'm like, I had this moment where I was like, oh my God, I'm like such a bad bitch. I really am. And I work so hard, and I have so many friends and such a cool life, and I'm so successful professionally. And like, who the fuck were these people to make me feel so bad? And that's sort of what was making me think about these things, was like, I bring a lot to the table, and I'm really proud of who I am, and I'm somebody worth being proud of. And if somebody isn't going to be nice to me and kind and honest and those things, then like, who are you to do that to me? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess in my more adult life, like, I think I was probably still pursuing or catching feelings or liking guys that weren't necessarily into me in my earlier 20s. And then, I started to evolve into this finding yourself, knowing your worth, and just this whole, like, if he doesn't like me, I don't like him, So as long as you guys have known me, that has been who I have been. And I did this whole thing, kind of what you're saying, at the end of 2018. So going into 2019 with this, like, we've achieved so much. I felt this way after the Gramercy Theater shows, and like, you don't get to come in here and fuck with me. And I just really look back as like, I really did that. And it is held up. Like 2019, I was the most unbothered. I didn't cry once, over nothing bothered me. I was just like, if you're not a good person and worthy of my time, and I don't look up to you, respect you, and you're not going to treat me well, I don't want it at all. I am happy to have dodged a bullet. I mean, we did a whole episode called Dodge That Bullet, and I talked about some of these people, and so did you. And so that has been how I live my life, and I want to pass it on to anyone else because it is like my truth. And we all get tripped up here and there. We catch feelings for somebody that maybe isn't the best for us. We're human, but for the most part, I feel like you too are able to be like, that's not a good person for me, and I'm glad I didn't go down this road any further.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of that. And when people say, what's the thing that changed so much about you from the podcast? This one person in particular, like, came into my life years ago, did some stuff that really hurt me. I cried endlessly about him. And then he came back around this winter and did one thing I didn't like. And that was it. I didn't cry about it, think about it long term. I didn't try to like bargain with him or myself to like be nicer to me. That was just, you don't want to behave, then bye.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about this thing. You guys may have seen it on the internet. It's just kind of making the rounds. It's trending, but this study came out. I mean, some of the headlines are like, men are lonelier than ever or something like that. But basically it's according to a study by Psychology Today. It says younger and middle-aged men are the loneliest they've ever been in generations, and it's probably going to get worse. So a variety of reasons, essentially that women are having higher standards, healthy relationship standards have changed. The study says women are looking for someone who is emotionally available, a good communicator, and shares similar values. And another reason, the third reason that they cited, is that men need to address a skills deficit. The study claims many young men are not being taught early on how to treat women correctly. The problem for men is that emotional connection is the lifeblood of healthy long-term love, the study says. So I think lots of guys have come a long way. I think more men are in therapy than ever. Absolutely. We were joking about The Bachelor. It's like every guy is like bragging about going to therapy. Or Jared's commentary on it said that too. The Bachelorette, sorry. But this is still happening. I mean, we hear horror stories. Like, we get treated poorly. We hear crazy shit. It's just like, women don't have to be with a man anymore. And it's been like that for a long time. Like, women have been independent of men for quite some time. They don't need to rely on them for shelter and food and money. But it still takes a long time to evolve. And I just think we're constantly evolving, where women are like, if you're not up to my standards, like, I don't want it.
It's just thinking about like people that don't deserve to be with you, and that's somebody who maybe is below the standards that you set for your own life, or somebody who truly doesn't treat you well. So we'll talk about that. And we asked you guys, how did you know that you had sort of like evolved past a person, or that they weren't, good enough for you in a certain way for some reasons? We got a lot of ideas via that. And I think there's a million reasons, of course, why we stay with somebody that we know isn't necessarily great for us. I mean, of course, if you're married to them, you have children, that's a completely different situation. But I'm just talking about baseline. You're just dating somebody and they're not serving your needs anymore, especially emotionally, and they're not kind to you.
Yeah. And I think that there is this, we'll talk about some of these reasons, and what we don't want to do is like bash men and stuff like that. But like the original episode title that came into my head when I thought of doing this topic was after we had a discussion about a friend of ours, but it was, don't let this loser make you feel bad about yourself. I just want to disclaimer, it's not about like money or job or whatever. Also, you can definitely have standards of like, I want someone that is successful and makes money, and that's 100% fine. But it's not about that. It's about like, why do you want someone that's 30 plus? They live with a bunch of roommates. They're not successful or ambitious. They're not on the road to success. They can't treat you to a nice dinner, and they make you feel bad about yourself. Oh, those things are fine if they're a good partner, they're consistent, they are loving, they dick you down. Like, who cares if you don't care? But it's like the fact that it's this fucking quote unquote loser who also makes you feel bad about yourself. Like, that's where I can't handle it. Like, we can't let these guys make us feel bad. They're fucking losers.
I know.
They're losers. Like, I get it if it's one thing where you're like, all right, well, he's just fucking perfect on paper. So maybe he could change. We've all been there. We've all done that. But then we'll get into that too. Like, this boils down to someone really being a piece of shit in more ways than one, like making you feel bad about yourself, making you doubt yourself, making you a worse version of yourself. Like, at a baseline, anyone you're going to be with should bring out the best in you.
I love your rant, first of all. You know me, I tend to gravitate towards the emotional first, like somebody who makes me feel really good and makes me laugh really hard and is a good friend to me, way before I evaluate, do they have money? Can they be a good provider? That is what I gravitate towards. And that's what I'd say my last serious relationship, I thought that he was an incredible emotional support. He dicked me down well.
Yeah.
If somebody is not providing, financial support and doing all these exciting things for you, and they're not nice to you, you can't be here anymore.
Yeah.
That's just, I'm sorry, you can't. If you're not hitting the check for it, listen, go ahead, girl. If you have no money and somebody's paying your rent, I'm just kidding.
I mean, no, I want whatever people want to do that they're comfortable with, but yeah, go ahead.
That was it. I just come from a place of like, when I say somebody's treating you badly, like we really mean like anxiety. You can't focus. You can't be present. Your work is slipping. You're constantly in a state of anxiety. When are they going to call? When are they going to show up? The highs feel so high, even though they're normal, because the lows just feel so low. Mm-hmm. I come from a place like when I was growing up that like, everything I ever thought and felt was invalidated, and everything I felt was bullshit and stupid. I'm not going to, name one of my parents, but you get it. I was always invalidated for how I felt. So as a result of that, I think I've become the person that's always wanting to know, why is somebody acting like this? And where are they coming from? And what's my role in this? And those things are good, but you can't take that too far. If somebody's just treating you shitty, they're just treating you shitty. And unfortunately, if they come from trauma, they need to work on those things. They need to go to therapy, and they need to work on themselves, and then maybe come back to you. But just because you want to maybe veer more towards the way that I am, which is to always understand why somebody's like how they are and why are they acting like this, why are they reacting to me like this, you can't just stick around forever. At some point, you have to choose you.
For sure. And I love that you even just brought up in general someone's trauma, upbringing, who they are, because there's a multitude of reasons even why, if we are speaking to the listeners or even like the women here, of why you might pick these type of people that you need to reflect on too. We've done episodes on this before, like why you might want somebody who's emotionally unavailable, why you might want someone who's avoidant, why you might want someone who whatever has this correlation with one of your parents. So that's important too. I do have a luxury of coming from a place of like a loving family and upbringing and pretty stable. I don't have a really deep trauma, and not everybody can come from that place. And I feel for anybody who's like working on that. But if you realize that about yourself and you're working on it, you sure as shit need somebody who's working on themselves as well. I think self-reflection is super important here. Also, what are you putting out into the world? Like, we're not all perfect people. Someone might be treating you like shit. You might be treating like them that shit too. So this isn't like right. We're all perfect and like all women are perfect and all men are terrible. It's not like that at all. I mean, self-reflection is important, and what are you seeking out as well? But we see a lot of like, if you were to step back and reflect, this person is not a good person and they're not a good match for you. I mean, I think just a baseline requirement is someone that makes you feel secure. Mm-hmm. And if we're talking about someone that is a little more avoidant, I think back to like Andrew Huberman, can avoidant people change? Then someone that's consistent You know, at the very least, what consistent. So if you're feeling a little bit insecurity because maybe that's your attachment style, are they consistent? Can you count on them? Like, these are just baseline things. If you don't have them, then what's a life look like with that person? They're not your person. They're not a long-term match, at least not now.
And I understand that like so much of staying with somebody who like doesn't show up for you and doesn't satisfy you emotionally comes from like deep-seated self-esteem issues and not feeling like maybe you deserve somebody or looking around yourself and feeling like there's just low quality alternatives. Like maybe you live in a small town, there just aren't that many people. Maybe you don't have that many options. Maybe the thought of being single is like a fate worse than death to you. But I'm just here to say like somebody who treats you bad is a fate worse than death. You know, being alone isn't so terrible. You know, it's
not terrible at all.
I love being alone. I really enjoy it. I like my own thoughts. I like spending time alone. Once in a blue moon, there'll be something that I don't love doing by myself, like going to a wedding alone. But it is tenfold better than being with somebody who invalidates me or makes me feel like they're never going to show up for me or just ghosts out of situations. All of that just feels so bad. So, I mean, Ashley and I really feel for people that feel like they don't deserve better, or maybe there's nothing better around you feel. But like to sit and be treated poorly is really a bad fate. Then you deserve better. Everybody. It doesn't matter how you look at yourself. I don't even know everybody listens to this podcast. I don't know most of you, but I can tell you that you're better than that.
Yeah. Yes. And they're just ultimately like wasting your time. Like they're holding the space for someone that could be better for you. So when these people exit your life, it's a blessing because they're making space for someone who is right for you. And that's positive. Like, the longer you spend with people who are bad for you or bad people in general, that's another day, another hour that you could have spent A, being happier, but B, finding someone else who is better for you, C, working on yourself, like whatever it is, they're just wasting your time.
Yeah. And when we let people waste our time over and over again, then we don't even have examples of really good relationships to look at. You know, if you've never been treated really well, it's hard to say like, here's the line, here's my boundary, because you don't even know where the line is. And you can look outside of yourself. If you say to yourself, like, I've never had like a really healthy, amazing relationship, then look around you and say to yourself, which relationships do I emulate? I think you and I have talked about that a lot on the podcast, to just look at the marriages around you, whether it's your parents, aunts and uncles, grandparents, your friends, like whose relationships do you emulate? Go find those things.
I think of, and we'll get to this list. Well, maybe we'll end with that, of the things people said. I mean, the list of things that why you realized you were too good for someone, like runs the gamut of like, they slept with your best friend to like, they have a mattress on the floor, you know, but when people do bad things to someone they're supposed to care about, like that's who they are. That's a personality trait. Like, we all do and say things in the heat of the moment. That feels a little different, but just outside of those, like someone that is dating you and disappears. We'll talk about this ghosting thing. And Raina's going to read this excerpt from this article that we loved that also helped inspire this topic. But you're supposed to care about each other. You've been intimate and they just disappear with no explanation. What kind of person are you? Like, you don't want that person, you know, someone that's like inconsiderate, selfish, or just cowardly. You don't want it.
Remember that episode we did like way in the beginning based on an article about should love be conditional?
Yeah.
Love is conditional. All of my love is conditional. My business relationship with you is conditional, you know?
Yeah.
My love for everybody is conditional. And like, I understand love is conditional. You should love me for me. Yeah, but I don't love you if you treat me like shit. And me loving you is not a pass to go do whatever you want to me. And it's not fair that, like, you know, I'm not going to walk away because we built integrity into this base. And it's like, then you start treating somebody poorly and think that they just have to stick around because they love you. Because most people don't start off treating you like shit day one. You know, they build towards treating you like shit. In the beginning, they'll love bomb you. They'll treat you well. They'll, you know, take you out, pay for things. Those things in the beginning aren't like an excuse to get shittier throughout time.
Yeah. And I mean, when I think about this topic, it feels less of like long-term relationships. You're deep in the trenches. You both fucked each other up. You know, that's something that maybe it's like, especially if there's a marriage or kids involved and you want to, you know, seek therapy. I'm thinking more of like the ghosting and like the pining for someone, like a man that's not your man. It's more of that. Or just someone that you know, dated for a couple months or had a short-lived relationship with that disappeared on you or just blindsided you or cheated or was dishonest and all those things. I mean, they all make you who you are. Like, do you want to read that thing?
Yeah.
I just love it so much. It like really, it hits different.
So this comes from an article from The Cut. It was October 8th, 2021. It's called I Got Ghosted Big Time. And JP Brammer is the author. So if you want to go look it up on thecut.com.
Yeah, we can post it too.
Okay. So basically the premise of this article was this girl had dated this guy for maybe like a couple months. And
significant.
Yeah. I don't let anybody tell you that like 2 months is not a long time with somebody that you spend every day talking to. You have given your body to them.
Yes. Like again, one date, do whatever you want. I think if you sleep with somebody, I think you both kind of owe each other something, you know, like just man up, woman up.
Yes.
But yes, weeks, months, intimacy, communication. You've showed them who you are. Like, all right, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, you let somebody in, you let them know you let them see the side of you that nobody else gets to see. You're FaceTiming, you're naked with them.
Yes.
Like, it's really painful. So don't let anybody take that away from you. Anyways, this girl had dated somebody for a while. I think the scenario is that he'd gone out of town and stopped responding to her. And like, that was it. Just full on ghost. And she was like, well, I don't understand what happened here. What's going on? He full on would not respond to her. And I love the advice that this person's saying, because she basically was saying like, I want him back. I don't know what to do. He's saying, you know, it's hard to accept that somebody that we care about could hurt us. But consider this. Put yourself in the shoes of someone who would do something like this to a person they purported to love. So I guess it was a couple months in. Could you do it? Could you watch this person continually reach out, and could you respond with silence? Could you sleep at night knowing this person was in pain, that they were confused and scared, and they could easily mitigate the suffering, but they have chosen not to? Even if we no longer wanted to be in a relationship with this person, couldn't he be giving you the grace of letting you know the best case scenario here is that he is merely a coward? So, and it goes on, you guys can read the article, but it really hits home to me, especially with ghosting, or when somebody won't make themselves available to you and you just want to like make a plan, see what they're up to, like just hear from this person, and they withhold that kindness because of what? Because it's hard to tell a person I'm not into you anymore. You're annoying me. This doesn't work for me anymore. Like, it's disgusting. And somebody that would treat you like that is not your friend. That's not somebody that cares about you.
Yeah.
You don't want that person back, because somebody that would do that to you is really not prioritizing you and who you are. Doesn't think of you as a human being.
Yeah. Again, extenuating circumstances. They could have died. Someone could have died. Like, let's just take that out of it.
That.
You know, like, yes, let's suspend that. But the thing that got me, and I do think I like teared up a little bit when I read that, because it was so impactful, of like, could you do it? Could you see this person who you'd been dating, you'd been intimate with, you had a relationship with, could you see them texting you, checking in on you, wondering what's going on, and just ignore it and sleep at night? It's so mean.
Yes.
It's so mean. And we were talking about a situation with a friend of ours recently, and she's dating this guy, and he kind of just did that. He wouldn't answer her. He clearly saw her texting. She thought they were supposed to get together, and he eventually responded, but he kept her anxious for a day or so. And he just said he had wanted some space. And, you know, I don't know all the ins and outs of every communication that had been sent, but that's also fine. Like, we all need space sometimes, you know, but you can tell someone that. And if they continue to harass you, then you don't need to respond. But you can tell someone like, hey, I need a little time to kind of think about some things, or I need some space. I mean, I know that like if you're in a relationship with somebody and they hit you with a like, I need to think about this or have some space, that could drive you crazy too. Because you're like, oh my God, what, I'm just gonna sit around and wait to get broken up with? Or, you know, like, I know that sucks. I don't really know. Sometimes people do need time and space to think, but like just nothing, like just the full on ghost, the disappearing act is so cowardly. It's so inconsiderate. And I couldn't do it.
I could never watch somebody beg me for an answer and not give it to them. What is the point here? I would hate knowing that somebody was out in the world and that I had destroyed them, and that like one conversation for 15 minutes could have like completely changed the outlook of their life. Like, people are fucked up about this for years. Like, when people get ghosted or like they never get closure, it is a horrible thing. And like, I think that people like were so shocked that like my last breakup was so quote unquote easy and that I seemed to recover from it. But like, we talked about it. We were honest with each other. We respected each other. We both decided this wasn't going to work out. We both walked away with dignity. And that's why it was easy to sort of move on from it, because I didn't feel like somebody had robbed me of my dignity and closure.
I know. I mean, I was thinking recently about how I was seeing this guy. I mean, it had been months, and we were like, he lived in Florida, and I'd visited him a couple times. We'd had sex a bunch of times. We'd been intimate. We'd gone on dates. I'd flown down there to see him, and I just decided midway through one of the weekends I didn't like him anymore, and I felt really uncomfortable, and I didn't want to be there, and I bailed. And I made up a story to get me out of there. I just really didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't want to spend like another night with him, and that happens. It just does. Sometimes you're like, I don't want this anymore. And I think he hit me up later that night, and I was like, I'll talk to you when I get back to New York. And I remember coming back to New York and being like, I felt so bad. Like he didn't really do anything wrong. He kind of was rude to me at dinner, but it wasn't like abusive. Like he was annoyed because he could feel that I was like losing interest. I think it's fine. Yes. He didn't. I just was like, I really feel bad about this. Like, and this isn't even a person that I was like in love with or boyfriend, girlfriend with. And so I didn't really want to reach out. I just did want to forget about it. Like he wasn't bothering me, but I was like, I feel a responsibility to say something, like that was shitty, blindsiding even, and I think I sent him a text of like, I'm really sorry. I know the weekend didn't turn out the way you probably ever anticipated. And I'm happy to talk more if you want, which I also was like, didn't really want him to call me. But sometimes life isn't easy, and you have to spare people's feelings. Like people, like, I don't know. I care about people, and I care about their feelings. Like I want someone that is like that too. And luckily he just never called, and he let it go, and he can think whatever he thinks. And I think he still follows me on Instagram. There was no hard feelings. I mean, I'm sure there's some hard feelings, but it's fine. It worked out. Like I just was like, I think I was kind of like even hands shaking sending that text. It's not easy. It's not easy thinking that they could call you right then. You have to answer and explain this. And I don't really know what I was going to say, but I still felt like I owed them something.
Yeah, we owe people something for their time, and it feels really shitty long term to like just know there's somebody out there in the world that like I robbed them of that thing. I robbed them of just like a closure conversation. Those conversations fucking suck. I hate them. I would rather send a text message or an email and just do that. That's fine too. I'll accept most things except for silence.
And I think people have had bad situations that they tried that and it backfired. And I think that we've heard this from everyone, man, woman, whoever, of like, well, I tried that and she just wouldn't let up. And it's like, well, at least try. And then if she won't let up, if he won't let up, then block them if they're harassing you. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can draw a boundary too. This isn't, you don't have to entertain it forever. We all are able to break up with somebody and have them leave us alone. So there's that to be said too. But it's just people that do mean terrible things. It's like part of who they are.
Yeah. And you're not going to fix them. It's not your responsibility to save them from themselves. And people that ghost you or they blowing out of your life and you're like, we all have those people that we've let like come back. And you're like, why am I even fucking doing this? This happens when you're a lot younger. Sometimes you just grow up and it gets easier. But, there's like the age old question of, will I find anything better? We make each other laugh. It's so fun. They're so smart. They really get me. Yes, you will find something better. You'll find something in someone better than a person that just knocks you off of your stability. We will always find something better, or just be alone. Being alone is better too. Like, I think we're all just out here being like, is something out there better? Yes.
Better than, someone who makes you feel anxious. And the whole thing of, is there someone better than this like really nice guy who treats you well? I don't know. That's not our call to make, but the guy that makes you feel like shit. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There is the nice, boring guy. At least you'll feel stable in your body. But you said something too. We were talking about this friend and you were like, it's hard in general, not just her situation. You made a good point of like, it's hard when you've chosen them though. Like it's hard because then you're like, how did I let this happen? Like and especially if you're a person that beats yourself up more, you're like, wait a minute, like why is my picker so off? Like, why did I choose this person? How could I let this happen to me? And again, you can't beat yourself up like that. And this whole thing is not to discount your feelings for someone, or especially like a physical connection. Like I get it. Physical connection is huge. This is easier said than done, but
all of it.
I think that if you really take a step back and assess that person and think of the things they did or the way they made you feel or the type of person they are, and that's not what you want long term, then them ghosting you or breaking up with you or blindsiding you should be easier to digest at least. Like it's at least a starting point, this type of self-talk. And that's kind of why we wanted to do this episode.
I think when these people blow in and out of your life, this is like more of a ghosting thing. You have to ask yourself, is the short-term joy I'm going to feel from this worth the long-term anxiety I'm going to feel from this? And Sometimes the answer is yes. I don't know. I don't know what your relationship's like, but yeah, of course you look at yourself and like all of the rationalizing in the world of like, this is a loser and this guy sucks. At the end of the day, you still did pick that person. And so there is a lot of like ego that goes into this, and you do remember the good things about people, and that's important. And those things are what I remember. But you also in that conversation brought up like making a list. And I think that that's really important. We've said that since day one of the podcast, you know, make a list of all the good and bad things about this person, make a list of all the good things about you.
Yep. Yeah.
I remember like I dated this person on and off for years, and he came to stay with me for like maybe 5 days. And like, I don't know, maybe this sounds petty and unfair, but whatever. It wasn't that fun. And in my mind, I was just like, I want to remember this. And I was like taking notes in my phone, like while he was here. And I just even remember like we were at this baseball game and he like kind of ignored me, like walked a few steps ahead of me. I was just like, this is not like an interaction I'm enjoying. And I made notes of it. And I read the notes at the end of the weekend. And I was like, I don't like this. This is not how I want to be treated. And I want to remember these things because in the moment I hate them, but 5 days later, because I have bad memory, I will remember it and I'll rationalize it and I'll be like, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe it wasn't so terrible. But like, I want to take myself back to that moment and be like, in that moment, you hated that.
I know. And that's such a good call too, of like, you always know, like we always know, you know, and these things can happen so early on, these red flags, and we can blow past them because we want to be in a relationship, or the sex is good, or we need a date to a wedding, or they're convenient, they're your neighbor, like whatever it is. And then you go down the road even further and then you reflect and you're like, damn, I did know. You know, like you're like, I should have made a list. I should have wrote it down.
Listen, also, you brought up date to a wedding. Wedding season is almost over. This is the perfect time to offload.
You have a winter wedding. No, you'll be fine.
But, you know, I was thinking, why do we stay with people that don't treat us great, that we know that we're better than being with? And like, what you're saying is like, we just keep staying and saying like the sunk cost fallacy is real. You're like, I've put in so much work. I've been here for so long. I've like built all these memories. I've met their friends. Their family knows about me. Like I've been around for so long. Like I'm just going to give up on this. Like that sucks. I get it.
Yeah. And when these things that someone disrespects you or is inconsiderate so early on, oh my God, that's when they're supposed to be the nicest to you. So just get out of it. Like what I don't want is the takeaway to be write people off so quickly.
Right.
Not writing people off because you might not have felt a spark or like something trivial. Listen back to Logan Urie's episode, you know, for advice on that. I just saw her speaking on the Today Show about the spark and give people a second chance. You also don't have to. I mean, we've covered this on multiple episodes, but when someone does something like glaring or rude, and I'm not talking about like a human error, they forgot a date or, you know, something like that, but been there. But this is when they're supposed to be trying to put their best foot forward. So it's almost more egregious and representative of who they are as a person because it is so early on. Like I was thinking about this guy that I did really like a lot, very sexually attracted to. We were long distance, like casual, talking, planning to see each other. And I just started to get little hints of being inconsistent, bailing out of a conversation. Just, it was off-putting. And I was just notating all of those things, you know, and then he really just disappeared for a week talking to me. He was on Instagram. He wasn't like on hiatus. He wasn't like, I had a meltdown and I'm in outpatient therapy. Like it wasn't, he was just doing his thing, just not talking to me. And then I don't know, I probably posted some sort of thirst trap and he came back around. And I remember I was on the way to your housewarming and I just called him out on it. And I sent it to you and you were like, see you never. Like, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. Like I had to pick up food and I think you were like, are you gonna bring the food? Like, I think I showed it to you and you were like, oh, are you gonna bring the food? Like, I think you were like, she's never gonna show up. She's gonna be DMing with this guy all night. And I was like, no, like he came back around and I was like, I kept it light, but like, you haven't talked to me in a week. And he rattled off a bunch of dumb excuses and I was just uninterested. And that was literally it with that guy. And I was excited about him for weeks. Like we'd been planning to see each other. We've been talking, we've been FaceTiming. I was like, no, I gave you a little bit of chance after chance. And then this is the final straw for me. It's too early for this. Like, I understand that people are like dating multiple people and you don't want them to be all serious, but just the kind of negligence, like leaving you on red, not responding to you. I don't know. I just don't want it. I don't want it at a point where I just feel like you still should be kind of pursuing me.
I don't think it's irrational to want those things. I think it's normal to have, when somebody says they're going to call, they should call. I think when you're in the middle of a conversation, they should wrap it up. I think that like when you think that you're going to see somebody tomorrow, I think they should text you at an hour that's intentional, that you know that you have plans with them. Like I don't want to have plans with somebody at 5 p.m. who's new in my life and I don't hear from them until 4. I want to hear from them at 10. I think these are like little things and we can rationalize them, but like all of them are important. And I don't write everybody off for every little thing. I think I give a lot of people a lot of chances. Yeah. And I think I'm smart and high functioning and valuable and worthwhile. And I think I'm great. But I think that like other people sometimes just need time. That's fine. I don't write them off for everything. Yeah. And I think early on is a good opportunity to teach people how to treat you, because most people will treat you the way you allow yourself to be treated. That's not fair. But it just is how the world is. You know, like some people are like, well, why does that person never get like shit all over? Because they don't let themselves.
It's such a good call. Yeah. And everybody can have a second chance, unless it's like so egregious or something so terrible, but you can always set your boundary and they, that doesn't fly with me. That's not my vibe. I don't, and they can be like, you know what, let me have another chance. Let me, you know, like that's fine. Like I'm down with that. I'm down with a little self-reflection. Let me try harder. Let me try to get up to this girl's standards, you know, and fit within her boundaries. That's fine.
I think that you're really particularly good at this. I've seen you do it a lot where somebody isn't communicating the way you like, and you just sort of like make a little light jab, just a funny joke. Like we've said this in the podcast, like not every conversation has to be so heavy and deep. It doesn't have to be like a voice memo or a fill the page up with
especially
like
early. Like,
yeah. I mean, listen, men are going to get scared if you send them full page text messages. So keep it light. No, I don't think that you need to keep having conversations about your feelings and what are we and emotions in the very beginning. It's a little light tap for how you want to be treated, and just keep bringing somebody back to center a couple times is fine. I actually don't come from the school of thought that like once a fuckboy, always a fuckboy. I don't even believe once a cheater, always a cheater. Once an asshole, always an asshole. Yep. You can teach people how to treat you. And I think you give people enough rope to hang themselves. And if they do, like, that's fine. Like hopefully you've even gone so far down the road with them that you can't turn back because they've shown you who they are. And that's cool too. No hard feelings. You just can't date me.
Yeah. 100%. Should we go through the list?
Yes.
Okay. So, I want to tell you guys something funny about this list. So when I was telling, Raina was like, what should we post as like an Instagram story slide? And I kind of like had this idea. I was like, let's just get people crowdsource. Like basically, you know, when you realized you were too good for somebody, we're going to just get this master list. But I typed it out. I said, when you know you're better than somebody. And then
we did a lot of stuff yesterday.
We had so many texts flying back. And then I recorrected myself. I was like, oh, sorry, I wrote that on the fly. When you realize you're too good for someone. But Raina just had taken the first thing and just typed it out. We were trying to do a million things at once. So she posted the Instagram story, when did you realize you were better than him or something? and then the comments, I mean, this might be the most we've ever gotten.
People understood the assignment.
They understood the assignment 100%, but I read it, I was like, damn, it sounds so like elitist. Like,
even as I was tired, I was like, damn, Ashley, that was mean.
And then I was like, that's not the tone. But it's same thing. I just wanted to say it differently, but you guys went off. Really though. Do you think this is the most?
I couldn't find the bottom.
The bottom did not exist.
Bella's out of town this week. I had to compile this, and I couldn't find the beginning of this. All right. I realized I was better than him one. So some of these obviously give us ideas for like more serious topics. A lot of you said like, well, we'll get into it, but some of them are really funny. So I'll just kick it off. He told me he didn't pay attention to the news, found out about the insurrection days later. We live in DC.
Unreal.
I just need somebody to be a citizen of the world enough to know that somebody tried to overthrow the Capitol.
I think he was in a coma. You could not ignore the insurrection if you tried. I truly don't. Like, Dewey was dying. I would have loved to not know about the insurrection. You couldn't avoid it. Like, you still can't avoid it.
I remember where I was during the insurrection like it was 9/11. We recorded in your apartment that day, and we stopped recording, and we had dozens of messages from people.
And then they live in DC. It's outside your door. Like, this guy was on drugs or something. Like, that's so crazy.
I just need somebody to be a citizen of the world. Okay, there was 2 responses that came up the most. This one was the second most response. This is the number 2 response we got. I brush my teeth twice a day, and he judged me for it. So many girls said that guys only brush their teeth once and made fun of them for brushing their teeth twice. It was the number 2 response.
No. I dated someone. Seriously,
in the morning?
We lived together for a minute. He brushed his teeth so long. He was walking around the house brushing.
He was an overbrusher.
Oh, and he was like, I was like, you got to cut back. Like you can get in there. Your gums are going to recede. Like you're doing too much, but better that than this is crazy.
I mean, you could brush your teeth once a day, I guess, but like you can't make fun of me for doing it twice.
Oh my God.
So this happened a lot of like apartment bedroom stuff. So he had no bed sheets at all.
No
like
bed sheets at all.
Not a top sheet.
A girl. Oh, you weren't at this was first show in my first show in Chicago. A girl went home with this guy that just had a sleeping bag on top of the bed.
Now, listen, I will say, like, this is very age dependent to me because a lot of apartment stuff came up about like the quality and the internal workings of the apartment. Fine. If somebody's 22 and they've never like curated an apartment before, they're like, I guess I just put a sleeping bag here. Fine. But like, I need somebody that like that cares about their space.
Yeah.
Clean it.
Yeah.
Get some sheets. Okay. He had no hobbies, just copied mine. All him and his friends talk about are their high school glory days.
Listen, same.
It's true. That's Ashley's one high school story manipulated. Like you can't make fun of somebody.
Oh my God.
It monopolized.
That did. Yeah. It's a long story. I mean, listen, I think it
was worth it.
Yeah.
We graduated business school together in 2020. I just like I am now rich and he is not.
I love it.
You got rich in 2 years. Good for you, girl.
Yeah.
I busted my ass to get a degree while he slept until 2 p.m. So I'll let you pick up from here. But so much of this like episode is inspired by like women who are killing it and doing great at life. And like somebody who isn't is treating you poorly.
Yes.
I feel like one of my friends actually wrote this. She didn't, but I have a girlfriend who like I watched get treated so shitty by a guy who did wake up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was like, you have worked out, gone to therapy, run your business, run 10 errands, answered 100 emails while he slept all day. And this guy is going to treat you like shit.
Exactly. I mean, that is so much part of it. And listen, also just to, be empathetic to everyone has different shit going on in their lives. Everybody also had a different upbringing, opportunities presented to them. We're not all created equal. But let's say you're kind of on equal footing here and you were just like motivated, killing it, and they're just mooching off of you. No.
And making you feel bad. And of course.
And making you feel bad. Yeah. And not being a good partner on top of it. Like you got your fucking stay-at-home boyfriend running the household, cooking meals.
Dicking you down,
eating your pussy, making your HelloFresh, walking the dog. Yes, queen.
Also, none of this is about money at all. Actually, we talked about money at all. And it's so true. Like, I'm glad you said that because I meant to say it 45 minutes ago. Everybody's life is different and everybody comes from a different type of background. And money has nothing to do with this. Okay. Anyways, I exactly said what you said. So, and you said it better. Okay.
I just grabbed some who were like a little more serious, then we can go back to some of the funny ones. But she said when he had a pattern of not being able to hold down a job, I had to pay his way on any trips we took. I found myself intentionally dumbing down conversations and not talking about what I love. What?
Is this my ex? My ex-fiance.
Like if you have to dumb yourself down, he didn't have the decency to text back after hooking up with my best friend behind my back. Ew. I bought my own house and he doubted me financially. He's 32 and lives with his parents. He made me feel bad about my professional success. He told me he thought he could do better than me. Run. And then I learned my worth. I love that. I had to pay for the vacation he asked to join. And then my final one that I just loved, I bolded this. I woke up one day and saw my worth and what he lost, not what I lost.
I got a little chills.
I know. That's the reframing we're talking about.
Read me the first one again that you read.
He had a pattern of not being able to hold down a job.
I think that like that's really tough to watch somebody go through that. And we can only help people like as much as they're willing to help themselves. And if that person's also not treating you well on top of that, like that's hard to watch. But again, like we can't just sit around and babysit another human being for our entire lives.
And you shouldn't. And I mean, you're not helping them either by enabling them. You can feel that when a guy is just looking for another mom.
Yeah, I don't want it. And that old saying, like you can lead a horse to water. I don't want to lead you to water. Okay. I just want to remind you that you're a horse and then you figure it out.
Remind you that you're a horse. You're a horse. And you got this. Raina?
I forget like what.
And I'm going to jump on the back. Let's go get some water. I'm going to ride you.
I will suggest that there is water somewhere. You figure it out, okay? I'm not here to like baby people, and I've tried, and I of course, when you like care about somebody, you want to like give them little tidbits and encourage tidbits. I can't talk today. And encourage them, but I'm not interested in running your life for you.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think about this. He forgot to get me birthday presents and Christmas presents. If that's important to you and like you're really thoughtful and you're always thinking of ways like better somebody's life, like Ashley bought me that booby candle. Like I feel like it's really shitty, and we can only ask people to change so many times. And it's not about like gifts. It's about like, I've done something thoughtful for you because it's important to me, and I would like to see that behavior reciprocated.
Yeah. What do you mean forgot? It's Christmas. Same day every year. You know, like that's so crazy. This one, he didn't wash his legs or dick in the shower. A lot of people don't wash their legs.
I don't wash my legs, but I shave my legs.
You just let the soap drip down.
I'll debate this all day. Do you wash your legs in the shower? And do you have to? I shave, so I shave almost every shower.
Oh, you do? Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, I just like do a quick like swipe.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not like scrubbing them down. But wash your dick. Like, how do guys wash their dick? They just like lube it up with soap. Have I ever watched? I mean, I've have so many showers with dudes. I'm trying to think.
Are they just like they're getting up under it, like the undercarriage?
Like, are they doing their grundle?
Like the grundle is the first thing I go for.
I think you got to get in there. I mean, I'm like, yeah,
that vaginal taint to butthole. I'm in there. I mean, you're in there with a sponge.
Well, I'm in there with that Dr. Bronner's peppermint hemp, and it will wake you up. I'll tell you that. And you really, you can't let it sit too long. Like if you put that in your pussy, like you got to rinse because it starts to burn a little bit. But it feels so nice in your butthole. Like it's peppermint, it's so minty. I also just recently read the bottle, and you can clean your house with that. So I don't know.
I mean, it's just like you can clean your body with, you could clean your house with. It's not vice versa.
Okay.
You can't Windex your pussy.
Okay. Yeah. I just was like, interesting. Maybe this isn't the best thing for my pussy, but I love the way it feels.
I really was thinking about this, and I actually was talking to an ex of mine last night who this was like the most prime example of this, like asking somebody to change. Like, I think we can only ask somebody a couple times nicely to do something in the beginning of a relationship. I'm not talking about long-term relationships where you go to therapy with somebody. I'm just saying, like, I had an ex who just like, there was no verbal affirmations from him ever. And there was only so much, he'll tell you that we broke up because he didn't tell me I was pretty enough. But that was a symptom of it. And there's only so many times you can ask a person to do something or be a certain way before you just have to like cut bait.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I've been watching Southern Charm a lot.
Cut bait. Oh my God. I like just agreed and then I rethought it.
I know. I was like, she's never going to bring this up. He had an Instagram account for his Forerunner.
Oh my God.
Price with accounts for their cars. And he told me to stop listening to Girls Gotta Eat.
That hurts my feelings. Like, I hate that any of you guys could have been duped into dating such a piece of shit as someone who would tell you to stop listening to this podcast. That's garbage.
Break up with him. If anybody has even whispered a word of it, break up with him.
Yeah. Well, we hope you guys like this episode.
Yes, I hope you feel empowered by it and excited to get out there and demand that somebody treats you well and find your worth.
Don't let a loser make you feel like shit.
No. Let a loser dick you down well.
Yeah. Well, you guys can get Vibes Only sex toys, lube, blow gel at vibesonly.com and download the app on the App Store. Android coming soon. We've said this so many times. And girlsgottaeatpodcast.com. You guys can find the advertisers, the episodes, merchandise, all those things. You can follow us at Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram. I am Ash Hess on all social media. Raina is Raina.Greenberg, girls_gotta eat on Twitter. And also, let me back up, Vibes Only on Instagram and Twitter. It's chaotic. And we'll see you next week.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.